This is the first interview in what I hope will be a continuing series under the umbrella of the Yale School of Public Health and the Firearm Injury Prevention Initiative, where I serve as the activist in residence. Is our intention, among other things, to humanize the face of gun violence through storytelling in a moment in history where all too often we focus on everything but our shared humanity. I am so thrilled that our first guest for this series is none other than Sybrina Fulton. She's an author, an advocate, an internationally recognized spokesperson for justice. She refuses to allow anyone to forget her son, but also your son and daughter and uncle and cousin and friends. She to love any loved one killed unjustly. For her efforts in the past decade, she has been awarded multiple distinctions, including a Doctorate of Humane Letters from Benedict College in South Carolina. She is a proud Delta, but mostly I am proud to call her friend. Welcome, Sybrina.
That's for you. That's for you, Nelba. That's for
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Um, Sybrina, thank you for joining us today for a little bit of time. I know you are busy and traveling all over the world doing your work of advocacy, but can you tell us a little bit about your life before February of 2012?
um, I was a employee of Miami-Dade County, um, homeowner, one car, a bachelor's degree, uh, two young men. I was raising two young men, but not by myself. You know, the dad, of course, was present. Um, and I tell people I was happy like 95% of my life. So when this tragedy hit, it hit hard because I wasn't, used to being so sad and just, feeling depressed. I wasn't used to it. And so, I used to go to on vacation every year. We did a lot of family events. Um, just living my life, and tragedy hit.
And for anyone who's listening to you that doesn't know, you have two wonderful sons, and one of them was unjustly taken from us in February 2012, and his name is Trayvon Martin.
Absolutely. And so my oldest son is Javaris. Trayvon is and was my baby. So a lot of people think that Trayvon was older. No, Javaris is the big brother. Um, they are alike, but a little different. The reason why I would say they're alike because they are very family oriented. Um, both are mama's boys, but Trayvon felt like everybody was his friend. Javaris, I could probably count Javaris's friends on one hand. Everybody is not a friend, and he's very particular about who he lets in his circle. Where Trayvon was just like, if he meets somebody and they hit it off, that's his friend, so everybody was his friend, but both are easygoing. We're easygoing and just just enjoying life. Just waiting on the next weekend, waiting on the next dinner, waiting on the next trip. Just enjoying life.
You talk about this tragedy happening. You've spoken to me before about this tragedy happening, and you did not choose advocacy. You were forced into it. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I tell people all the time that I would not have signed up for this. Of course, there's no training for when you lose a child, but I would not have signed up for this. This is not something that I would want to do as my life work. This was something that I was forced to do. So I didn't choose this profession. I didn't choose this career. I didn't choose to be an advocate. I was forced into it. My son got shot down, which made me stand up. And so I'm really just speaking on behalf of my son. My son is not here to speak for himself. So I am forced to speak for my son. And so, nobody wants to do this work. I mean, you have people that's out there, advocates out there, and they're in the street, they're on the ground and they're doing the work. They're doing the work in the laws, trying to change the laws, trying to change things, just on whatever level that they on. But if you a mom or you a dad, you wouldn't have chosen this work.
I don't think I could have said that any better. You are widely known for that worst day and that moment in history and that early period. And that sometimes happens with people who are involved with largely, widely publicized tragedy. They remember that day, but it's been over a decade for you now. And there is a grief that accompanies us every day, not just in the early phase, not just in the middle phase, but every day. What can you tell us or anybody listening about grief after a decade?
I want to say that time heals all wounds, but I would be lying. That's just simply not true. Um, I think this is the type of pain when you lose a child that you never heal from. You never heal. We're never going to heal. We are going to be healing the rest of our lives. And so we realize that, but I think some people don't. People think, oh, well, it happened over 10 years ago. She should be over it. No, you don't get over losing a child because it's something so unnatural as to we are not supposed to bury our kids. Our kids are supposed to bury us. So it's so unnatural. It's so unnatural to wake up in the morning and to know you have two children, but only one is living. It's unnatural. It feels like something is missing in your life. And that's just something that we have to deal with on a daily basis. I mean, of course we have our good days and our bad days. I'm not going to tell you that I'm always sad, and I don't believe that you are always sad, but you definitely can connect to what I'm saying about, the good days and the bad days, and just being able to try to move forward as best as possible, try to live our life and be happy as best as possible. Is something that's hard to do, but it's something that if you put your mind to it and you put one foot in front of the other and you put one prayer in front of the other and you just keep going, before you know it, it's 1 year, it's 2 years, it's 3 years, it's 10 years. But I believe that I was probably essential to my healing. A lot of people think that you bring people in and they help you heal. You can use your pastor, you can use your parents, your spouse, your friends, your family. But when it really comes down to it, you have to actually do the work. It's with anything, you have to put in the work. And I just feel like I put in the work. I put myself through all the heartache and the tears and the sleepless nights. And I continue to heal. So I continue to do something almost on a daily basis, whether it's meditation, whether it's prayer, whether it's reaching out to other mothers, whether it's exercise. So you have to figure out what it is to help you heal, and then do whatever it is to help you heal, because no one is going to be there late at night when you really, really, really need the support.
Again, I couldn't have said that better. And I'm so glad you say it so clearly, because I think there's so many people that need to understand that message. I can't tell you how many times I walk into a room and it's almost like sometimes people forget I'm a mother or I'm a human. It's almost like they're meeting some kind of grief celebrity. And I so desperately want for people to remember, even though I have done all of these things, I'm still a mom.
That's right. That's right. I think what people don't realize is, and I hate to say it, they want us to remember what happened to our children, but we can never forget. So when we see someone and they say, "Oh, I watched the trial. Oh, I know what happened to your daughter at school. I know what happened to your son at the mall. I know what happened." You're not reminding us of what happened, because we know, because we carry it in our heart every day. And so you don't have to remind us. You can send your condolences. You can say, listen, I'm thinking of you. I'm supporting you. I'm praying for you. whatever, without telling us what you specifically are talking about. And I think that's the part that people don't get. They don't know what to say to us, because I'm 10 years out, right? And that people are still telling me that, oh, well, I watched the trial. Okay, well, just tell me that you continue to support me. You don't have to tell me, oh, you watched Trayvon, oh, you put on your hoodie. You don't have to remind me. It's here. It's in my heart.
It's so easy, very easy to feel overwhelmed and powerless on gun violence and firearm injury. How would you recommend a person listening who wants to be helpful, doesn't know the right thing to say, maybe is going to say that wrong thing to a mom, maybe doesn't have legislative experience, is not an attorney, but they just want to get involved? Where do you send people?
Okay, two things. You can get involved with the individual, or you can get involved with the issue. To get involved with the individual, you don't need to know what to say. Just follow that mom's lead. And if it's something positive, then do it with her. If it's something negative, you want to deter her from doing it. So whatever it is, and then, you don't have to know the right things to say. We don't know the right things to hear. So we just need support. We just need somebody to listen when we're venting and know that we're venting. You don't always have to say anything when you see a mom that's venting. You know, you just say, listen, I'm here for you, whatever you want to do. I'm your ride or die, whatever the case may be. But you don't have to always offer words of encouragement, because sometimes they don't know what to say. And so sometimes we just want to cry. Sometimes we just want to say, okay, well, I've cried enough. I'm all cried out for this week, this month, this year. So let me just go to a comedy show. Let me just go shopping. Let me just go to a spa. Let me do something for myself. That is one way they can help. Another way is, most of us have some type of a purpose that we are trying to accomplish. And if it is somebody that wants to help us accomplish that, don't try to create something for us. You can listen to us. A lot of us are very mindful about what happened, and very mindful about what we want to do. And I would just say, support whatever that is. If it's changing laws, if it's running for office, if it's creating a foundation, whatever that thing is, just be supportive.
I'm sure it's very frustrating to you. It's very frustrating for me as well. People feel like they have to invent a thing, when often the family, the loved ones, those most directly in charge of protecting legacy, might have an initiative or something we can support. And I can't wait to talk about yours closer to the end of this. But speaking of legislation and policy, in your case, it was very specifically stand your ground. But what do you see as a path forward in addressing gun violence in the United States? What can we do to protect families, in your opinion? And you can talk about the one that most affected you, or anything nationwide.
Well, I think the laws are not going to change until they affect the lawmakers. I think that when they affect the lawmakers, that's when things are going to change. Because now we have crossed not only our young men being shot and killed, but our young ladies are being shot and killed. Children are being shot and killed. They're going into the schools. So um, and it's not always mental issues. Sometimes it's just hatred. And so we have to address those issues of hatred and mental illness. um I think it's going to take somebody that's in a very powerful position to lose a child through senseless gun violence for them to really understand what it's all about. I don't believe they understand. And that's why I think that they don't support the issue 100%. It's because they really don't understand, and it doesn't affect them. See, it affects us, and that's why we are so passionate about what we do, because we have been affected you know and I think that's the number one thing, that it has to be something. It has to hit home a little closer than what it has been doing. And I think that's when we'll start seeing positive change as it relates to senseless gun violence. I don't believe I think everybody should have a right to carry a firearm. but I still think that you need a license. Still think there should be an age restriction. I still think there should be some type of training. I just don't believe everybody should be able to just go get a gun and carry the gun and conceal the gun or whatever the case may be, through these gun shows and online. And it's just too much. It's too much. And that's why we're seeing our babies being killed.
I thank you for being candid with your opinion. You and I are very similar in that we've been here for a while, a decade, more than a decade. We've participated in change at the federal level, at the state level. We've advocated for all kinds of things. We started 501c3 nonprofits. We've done so many things. And also change outcomes for survivors. We're often a population that gets ignored. Everybody's trying to do prevention side, but what do we do with people still here, survivors still here, that we don't just want to survive, we want to thrive. So there are 4 ways we kind of do that here: gathering data, identifying risks and protective factors, developing and evaluating interventions, and scaling what works, cultivating partnerships. You have, among many things, authored a book, been in helped direct a series on your child, their life, and everything that we should know about him. You've advocated for change at all levels. You've run for office. You speak internationally. Also, you run an initiative that has personally touched my life. I'll never forget the first time I was there. We had Afeni Shakur as our dinner speaker, and it was beautiful. I got to meet so many moms just like me, and at the same time, very different in our circumstance. And that initiative that you have that is so beautiful is called Circle of Mothers. Can you tell us about it and how we can support you?
Circle of Mothers was a dream that I had because there was no program, no organization, no circle, no support team such as that when I lost my son Trayvon. And so it was a dream I had that I got up, I started writing, and I was like, I need to do just what I saw in my dreams. And that's what I did. I called my team together and I just told them what I actually, I felt that I had attended, but it was a dream. And so Circle of Mothers is about mothers empowering mothers, healing. It's about mind, body, and soul. It's about us healing on the inside so that we can heal on the outside. And the most important thing is for us not only to heal, but for us to help heal other mothers. And so I do a weekend event every year around Mother's Day. And it's about that. It's about empowering. We laugh, we cry, we hug, we do all those things that women do that men don't understand. And I need it for myself, so I have to do it every year. I cannot miss a Circle of Mothers, even though sometimes it's tedious, it's a lot of work, it's cumbersome, but I'm like, I need this. I need to do this for myself. And so I know that there are so many other mothers that need it. We usually bring about 100 mothers in, and we bring them to South Florida, and it's about healing. It's basically about healing. And when I say mind, body, and soul, we work on the mind. Of course, we have a psychologist to come in to deal with those issues, that traumatic experiences that we endure in our life. And also we have exercise, we meet and greet, we support each other, and then we close it out with a spiritual connection with God. And a lot of people say, well, what religion? Is no religion. It is just a non-denominational, and it's just about knowing that there is a higher being. And so we do that every year. It's purple everywhere. Of course, you remember it's purple everywhere. And it's just a feel good color. It's a royalty color. It's a feel good color. We do shirts. We do comfort bags. And we just come and just love on each other, just support each other, just heal with each other.
And the mothers
So
who
I'll be
attend Circle of Mothers are treated like royalty. Speaking of royalty, they are treated like they are picked up at the airport. They are brought to a hotel. They are flown as first-time mothers, but it's not inexpensive to do this. The cost per mom I know is between $600 and $1,000. So anybody moved to support this initiative should feel free to do so. And I'll give the website at the end. I'll tell you, I remember the comedy show. I remember crying. I remember the extraordinary food. I remember that there were people there to teach skills, how to start a 501c3 or determine if a 501c3 in memory of your lost loved one is the right thing for you to do based on your resources, on your development, right? There are so many people. We've had Iyanla Van Zant and, people speaking about grief. You teach skills, there's a makeup, part where if you want to get all dolled up, you can. There's an evening of dress. It's an mind, body, and soul, like you said, weekend for moms. And you did mention it was in May around Mother's Day weekend. If I had a prayer for Mother's Day, it would be that not one more mother joins this group that we're
This
in.
circle, right? Right. It's just, and the reason why I'm very open and honest with myself, and I know that I need it, I know I need it to at least help me propel and keep moving forward, because a lot of times we want to be still. We want to stay where we are. But no, I know that I need to continue to heal. I need to continue to move forward. I need to continue to be a part of my own happiness. And so I have to do those things that makes me happy, because happiness is an inside job, right? And so a lot of times we try to teach some of those things and cram everything in the weekend, but we do the best that we can.
And you do an extraordinary job. And it's not just you. You have this extraordinary staff and some, including your family, that just serves in this beautiful way. And it's like everybody is family. And that is what the circle of mothers is. So I wanted to ask you one more quick question. Given everything you do for everybody else, how do you take care of yourself and retain hope over a decade later?
Um, like I said, I'm a participant in my own happiness. I'm a participant in my own healing. A lot of times, like I said, people, they look to other people to heal and to be happy. I look within, because it starts with me. How can somebody make me happy if I'm not making my own self happy? How can somebody heal me if I'm not healing my own self? So I do those things that I need to do to contribute to my healing and to contribute to my happiness. Yes, I'm a participant. And a lot of times people want to drop it on somebody's lap and back away from it and say, okay, well, I'm still not happy. I'm still not healed. But I'm an active participant in that. And I think that's what has gotten me so far. And because I never give up. I just keep going. It's like losing weight. If I decide that I want to lose weight, and after I lost the weight, I just stop, of course I'm going to gain the weight back. So I have to actively participate in my weight loss. So I got to eat right. I got to exercise. I got to detox. I got to do all those things that it takes in order for me to maintain this cute figure. So I feel the same way with healing. You got to do some things and be an active, an active participant in your own healing.
I don't think people understand that survivorship, healing, and thriving, when one mom thrives, the others come along with her. And the best example I have of that, I tell that story all the time, is when we were on the Oprah cruise and we hadn't eaten, and you say to me, do you want to eat? And I say, sure. And you try to take me to the fanciest place on the cruise ship. And I look at you and say, is this part of our fee? Because I don't want to pay extra. And you turn to me and you say, where have you been eating? And I had been eating on the Lido deck because I didn't even know there was a grand dining hall. Because of your growth and your expertise, I ate in the grand dining hall. And I'm not just speaking that grand dining hall that day. You are a reminder to so many mothers that there is more out for them than the Lido deck. And for that and so many things, we thank you. We owe you support, encouragement, and love. Anyone in the sound of my voice so moved, www.circleofmothers.org. That is where you can donate so that you can help Sybrina in her dream and her vision of empowering mothers from surviving to thriving. Thank you so much, Sybrina.
Thank you. And they can also donate if they go to the website, TrayvonMartinFoundation.org. Thank you. We're always connected. You're my sister.